Welcome to Road to Recovery.
Hello and welcome to Road to Recovery, Advocacy and Insights for Trucking Accidents with Sagi Shaked. I'm Kevin Rosenquist. Thanks for being here. Sagi is founder of Shaked Law Personal Injury Lawyers and is ranked as one of the top 100 trial lawyers in the United States by the American Trial Lawyers Association. With a wealth of experience in personal injury, wrongful death, and complex litigation cases, he passionately advocates for victims and has recovered multi-million-dollar settlements in damages for his clients. Sagi, always great to see you.
Yeah, great seeing you as well, Kevin.
All right, so today we're going to talk about how you calculate damages in trucking accident personal injury cases. So let's start here. What types of damages can be claimed in a trucking accident personal injury case?
So in personal injury cases, there's two types of injury cases. So there's the wrongful death cases, and then there's personal injury cases. So the wrongful death cases are different. We'll start off with personal injury cases. So you can claim, if you're involved in a crash, your medical bills. That's easy, right? You know what the medical bills are, you get billed, and you can claim those are your bills. If you have lost wages, you're entitled to claim lost wages as well. Now, sometimes people have bills that they're going to incur in the future. What do I mean? They may need surgeries in the future. They may need care in the future. And you work that with a life care planner, and they'll put together a life care plan as to how much the bills will be in the future. So you get future medical bills, loss of future income if you can prove it. There's also what they call pain, suffering. So pain and suffering are different. Someone has pain, it's different than suffering. There's physical pain, there's physical suffering, there's mental pain, there's mental suffering, there is mental anguish, there is loss of enjoyment of life, and there's also, you're entitled, if you have a pre-existing condition, you're entitled to get compensation for that condition becoming worse. So those are the general areas where you can recover in a personal injury case.
With things like, I don't know, loss of zest for life or any of those kind of things, or a loss of mental anguish and things like that. How is that? Is that a judgment call by the jury, or how is that really calculated?
Yeah, so that's really, you've got it right, a judgment call by the jury, but we have to present evidence to the jury. So if someone has mental anguish, let's say they have PTSD or they're depressed all the time, usually you would want to bring forth medical experts to talk about that, their condition and how they're doing. You want to talk to witnesses that know them from before, what kind of person they were before and how they're doing now. Maybe the employer, maybe someone in the local religious institution, whether it's a church, a synagogue, a mosque, or something like that. You want to see how that person is doing and how they've changed. So emotional damages, those are real damages. I mean,
Absolutely.
Some people get really affected by it. So you're entitled to recover your mental anguish in the past and mental anguish in the future. And that's where the judgment call would be. What is the mental anguish in the future going to be? You'd have to show what the past was like. And remember, it takes a little bit of time to get to trial. So if it takes you 1.5 to 2 years, you have some sort of baseline. Here's what we had for the 1.5 years. What will it look like for the future? The jury has to believe it. It has to be real. And if they believe it, then they're going to compensate. And then usually the lawyer will give some sort of a roadmap on how to do that, depending on the case. So every case is different on how you would compensate someone. I mean, we've had cases where we had one where a young child saw his mom die in a really bad wreck. I mean, I can't imagine that for any child, and how, that's going to be scarred in their mind for a very long time, if not forever, and they have to live with that. So the jury had to make that decision, and they did. And it was in the tens of millions of dollars. But every case is different.
Yeah, that's definitely something I'm learning as I talk to you, is that every case is different. How are medical expenses calculated and documented in personal injury claims?
So let's say when we talk about medical bills, let's say someone goes to the hospital, they're going to have those medical bills. If they have insurance, that's great. Whatever your bill is will be reduced to what you owe the insurance company. So this is a point that a lot of people have questions. So if you have health insurance, your health insurance has a right, what's called subrogation, a right to subrogate, a right to get back what they paid. Because had you not been in that crash, they wouldn't have to pay anything. So let's say, give you an example. Someone goes to the hospital because they're sick, they're not feeling well. They didn't get that from a crash, right? from a truck accident, your health insurance will pay, you'll have a copay or a deductible, and they never ask for money back. But if you're in a crash and your health insurance pays your bills, or you're even in a regular incident and that's involving personal injury, and your health insurance pays, 99.9% of those insurance companies want their money back that they paid. So, and health insurance have contracts with hospitals and all these medical doctors where they'll be sending them patients for them to see, and they get a contracted rate. So it's a discount rate. So you may have a hospital that bills, $100,000, but the health insurance will pay them 20 cents on the dollar. So that means the health insurance will pay $20,000 and the hospital will write off the rest, that $80,000. So you have to pay that back. So medical bills, when we talk about medical bills and how they're reimbursed, it just depends. Does the person have health insurance? Do they not? If they don't have health insurance, the hospital will say, we want all our money. We don't have a contract with you. So now this is really an unfortunate situation. People who don't have money for health insurance, now they don't get the discount that the health insurance would get. They want the hospital wants the full amount of money that they billed. So that's a problem. And then that's when we step in and try to negotiate those bills. A lot of times we're successful, and a lot of times we get a fight, and then we get in front of a judge and let the hospital explain that they want Joe, who can't afford insurance, to pay the full amount of their bill, where they give $1 billion health insurance company a discount. It's just not fair, but it happens every single day. So medical bills, you put in the medical bills you have, and then usually at the end of the case, let's say it goes through a full-blown trial, the judge will reduce the medical bills down to what the health insurance has paid if the person had health insurance. If not, then you have to pay from the amount you get those medical bills. So, but also there's another wrinkle in Florida. If you're in a vehicle collision or a wreck, you have what's called PIP coverage, personal injury protection. Sometimes you've heard about it. It's called no fault insurance. Doesn't matter who's at fault. The first $10,000 comes from your coverage and your auto coverage. Before your health insurance pays $1, they want to see that your car insurance paid $10,000. And then and only then will your health insurance step up and pay. So medical bills, a little confusing in Florida, but the general rule is after your car insurance pays $10,000, your health insurance pays if you have health insurance, and then they go from there. But in terms of getting compensation from a jury, the jury will hear the global amount before any reductions by health insurance and before any reductions by the PIP coverage. Does that make sense what I said?
Yeah, no, that definitely makes sense. So what would you say is the best way for someone to ensure that all medical expenses are accurately documented to make your job of presenting them easier?
Yeah, so navigating the medical bill seems to be a huge problem for a client.
I don't doubt it. It can be really confusing.
Yeah, because you go to the hospital, you think you're getting one bill. No, you're getting a bill from the hospital for being there. Then you're getting a bill for the emergency room physicians. They're different than the hospital.
Yep.
Then you're getting a bill from the radiologist because the radiologist read your x-ray or CT scan. Then you're getting a bill from the company that had the machines. Then you're getting a bill if someone drew blood from you. Then there's just bills all over the place.
I've been in a hospital stay. It's crazy when you get. It's just like mind numbing. It's so hard to figure out.
Right. And then that's why people you get 6-7 bills. I only went to one place. And so they don't know what to do. So we're going to talk about Florida for a second. If you're in Florida, when you get those bills, you immediately give the bills, you give the hospital your car insurance information first. After they have the car insurance information, you then have a section to put your health insurance information. So give them both because your car insurance is primary. And that'll be in most states. Car insurance primary, then health insurance. If there is PIP coverage, so not every state in the United States has car insurance requirements for PIP, for PIP coverage. But if you do live in that state that does, like Florida, and when you get that bill, usually at the bottom of the bill, like it'll be, let's say if this is a bill here, it'll be usually at the bottom, or if you flip it over to the other side, it'll say, put your insurance information. So put your insurance information in there, car insurance and health insurance, or sometimes you see it on their portal. You go on the hospital portal. If you go on the hospital portal, they'll have the health insurance requirement. You got to upload your card for health insurance and for car insurance. Do that. This way your credit doesn't get dinged. Because if your credit gets dinged, hard to get a mortgage, hard to get a car, hard to get a credit line, hard to do anything. So you don't want to get your credit dinged, and the hospitals are quick to ding people's credits. It'll go to a collection company right away. So give them the insurance information you have. Now, let's assume you don't have insurance. What do? Hopefully, the car that caused the crash has insurance. Then you can go to your lawyer, and your lawyer can try to work out an agreement with the hospital. So hopefully the hospital will wait till the end of the case when the case settles, and then they'll get paid. Now, if you don't have that situation, or if your lawyer's not doing that job, then you need to rethink the lawyer that you have, because you want to protect your credit. So have the lawyer help you protect your credit, protect those medical bills from becoming medical collection companies coming after you.
We were talking earlier about some different areas that, that you can collect on, whether that's mental anguish, physical, obviously. How do you calculate lost wages and future earnings in a trucking accident, personal injury case? I feel like sometimes that could be kind of difficult, especially the future earnings part.
Yeah, the future earnings can be a little bit complex. So let's start first with the easy one, the lost past wages. We know you were making X and now you didn't work for 3 months. We know how much you were making per hour. We multiply that times 40 hours a week or however many hours you used to work. And that's what you would get in terms of a recovery. Now, remember, lost wages and loss of future income, that's a taxable event where you have, if you're getting paid just for pain and suffering, that right now, the current law is that's not taxable because that's not money you earned, right?
That's not money you would have earned through a job or something like, okay, that makes sense.
Yeah, you don't earn pain, right? Or suffering, right? So
some people do.
If you have lost wages, that's the easy component. Now, loss of future earning capacity is different. This is where you need, experts involved. First, you need someone to say, like a doctor, who can say, you can't do this type of work anymore. And then you're probably going to need someone to say, this is the type of work you can do. Or if you can't do any type of work, we've had clients who've had horrific injuries and they've been quadriplegics where they'll never be able to work a day in their life. They can't. In fact, they need someone taking care of them every moment that they're awake. So that's easier to prove. They were making, we'll say, $50,000 a year without any increases, and they have 20 years left of life to live. Even if they don't make $1 in increases, 50,000 times 20 would be $1 million. But that's just a small component of the case, the loss of future income. That's without any increases. That's why you would need an economist to talk about this is what would happen normally in a work life. You'd get this much type of bonuses, and this is what we expect the person to make 10 years from now, 15 years from now, 20 years from now. So you do need experts involved, medical experts. You need an economist. You need a vocational rehabilitation doctor to talk about if you can't do the job you used to do, at least what kind of jobs you can do in the future, if any, and how to offset that. You never want someone just to sit at home and do nothing. That doesn't look good in front of a jury. It doesn't sound good either. You always want someone to try to make a living. They can't just wait for the lawsuit to end to get paid. It's not a good look for any plaintiff. So if you are doing that, you're sitting back waiting for your lawsuit to end, try to work, try to get a job if you can. Obviously, some people can't because of their injuries, and that makes sense. But if you can, it'll look better for your case that you are trying to get better. There is hope. It's not that you're just sitting back waiting for, what the defense likes to call the lawsuit lottery. Let's not do that. Let's get back to work, try to make a living. If the person at my movie theater who is paralyzed from the waist down, they can go to work. You can go to work if you're not injured, right? If you don't have those types of injuries. So if you have injuries that prevent you from working, totally understand. But that's for you to decide with your lawyer. So loss of future earning capacity will just depend on what type of job you have in the past, what type of job you're capable to do in the future. It's easier to calculate if you have someone who's been in a horrific situation where you have like a wrongful death. We knew they made X. Now they would have lived, according to the United States Census, until the age of, depending if it's women, maybe 86. And we know they would have worked till 65 or 70. So they have 30 more years of work life. And then you take inflation and you have the economists put together the numbers, and that's how we would get to that, number.
So it's not enough for me just to say, hey, I would have been a tech billionaire, but I got in this accident.
Yeah, I wish it was that easy. Yeah, that's not going to cut it. You really have to show, I like to do it in every stage of the case. You have to pound on the evidence because the insurance company, they hire good lawyers and they're unforgiving. They come after you if you don't have the evidence. You really need to prove your case with evidence, whether it's a medical side of the case and you're proving your injuries, or if you're proving your lost wages or loss of future earnings, you really have to pound on the evidence and prove it. If you can't prove it, then you're not going to be able to do it. So it's sort of like we have a lawyer in the office. He's from Missouri. That's the show me state, right? So we've got to show the evidence as to why we're entitled to get all that money, whatever that money is. Show the jury, show the defense, show the insurance company, and prove it, and then you'll get it.
When it comes to things like property damage, or other out-of-pocket expenses in your claim, how do you account for that? How does that fit in?
Yeah, property damage, that's an annoying part for every client because they're involved in a wreck and now they don't have a car and they need to get to work. They need to get to the doctor's office. How do they do it? And so if the at-fault party, so the at-fault party, usually their insurance company will want to investigate the claim if they have insurance, right? So they'll investigate the claim, but that usually takes them 7, sometimes 10 days before they make a decision. And if it's a clear liability case, meaning it's clear that the at-fault party is at fault and the insurance company will pick up, some insurance companies, again, are better than others. Some are slow, molasses slow, like turtles. And then some are fair and they do it fair and evaluate the case fast. So if they do that, they'll pay for your car. But if you can get that car out of the tow yard with the property damage, you don't want it incurring storage charges while the insurance company is making a decision whether to pay the claim or not pay the claim. Because if they decide not to pay that claim, you then have the tow yard company can put a lien on your car. And now you don't have a car, you have a lien on your car, the insurance company for the other side doesn't want to pay. What do? If you don't have collision coverage on your vehicle, you're going to be out of luck. You're going to have to pay the tow yard company or they're going to sell your car. They can auction your car off. There's just many bad ramifications of leaving that car at the tow yard. You want to get it to the at-fault insurance companies right away. So if you're trying to handle the case on your own, you should do this. Call the at-fault insurance company and say, hey, my car's at this location. Go pick it up from there, take it to your lot so it doesn't incur any more storage charges. So that's the first thing you should do. And if the at-fault party doesn't have insurance, call your own insurance company. Hopefully you have collision coverage and get it to their tow yard. You don't want that tow yard incurring storage charges that can become astronomical in the thousands of dollars if you just let it sit there. Don't allow that to happen.
Wow. Yeah. Well, again, great advice. I appreciate it. I'm taking notes myself. I always do when I talk to you, Sagi. Well, thanks for tuning in to Road to Recovery, Advocacy and Insights for Trucking Accidents with Sagi Shaked. For more information or to connect with Sagi, visit shakedlaw.com. That's SHAKED law.com. And of course, don't forget to like and subscribe for more amazing insights. Sagi, thanks so much for being here. I appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me again. Look forward to the next one.
Thanks for watching. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe button and leave us a review in the comments.